Let's be real for a moment. There's something about walking into Marshall's that makes you feel like you just stumbled upon a secret vault of deals. The shelves are lined with candles that smell like dreams, cookware you didn't know you wanted, and racks overflowing with name-brand clothes. Everything whispers, "Look how much you're saving." And before you know it, you're at the checkout, convinced you've outsmarted the retail world. But here's the cold, hard truth. Marshall's isn't just letting you win. They're playing a game, too. A quiet, clever game built around pricing psychology, strategic store layouts, secret markdown schedules, and shopper behavior. And unless you know exactly how the system works, chances are you're losing. That red clearance sticker, that compare at price tag, they're not always your friends. They're part of a carefully constructed illusion meant to make you feel like you're getting a steal, even when you're not. So buckle up, because what I'm about to share is the brutally honest playbook. Marshall's doesn't want you to read. If you stick with me, you'll learn how to spot the real bargains, decode the markdown system, and yes, even outsmart that friendly associate who swears that's already the lowest price. Spoiler alert, it usually isn't. Let's start with one of their sneakiest tricks, placing the same exact item in 2 different spots in the store, at 2 different prices. No joke. I've seen it happen. You might find a pair of sweatpants in the regular section, decent price, fits great. But take a few more steps, and bam! The clearance rack has the exact same pair, same brand, same size, different sticker. And the price? Cheaper. Sometimes way cheaper. Why? Because Marshall's knows the average shopper isn't checking both places. Most people grab what they like and move on. But the smart ones? We compare. We hunt. We cross-check like it's Black Friday in July. Now, about those clearance stickers. The colors actually matter. Ever noticed how some tags are red, while others are yellow? That's no accident. It's a hidden code, and once you learn it, you'll never shop the same way again. Red tags mean clearance, but not the final cut. It just means, we'd like this gone, but we're not desperate yet. The yellow tags, though, that's the holy grail. Yellow means final markdown, last chance. The price has dropped as low as it's going to go, and Marshall's wants that item gone. But here's the twist. Yellow tags don't show up every day. They usually hit in January and July, when the seasons flip and inventory gets cleared. When those yellow tags appear, they go fast. Blink and they're gone. And it gets even deeper. Yellow tag items often go through layers of markdowns. One week it's $20, the next $16, then $12. Sometimes you'll see multiple yellow stickers stacked right on top of each other, like a little lasagna of price drops. So should you wait for the absolute lowest price? Maybe. But it's risky. If it's something you really want, especially in your size or style, don't wait too long. There's always someone else watching. And once it's gone for good. And then there's that one item. You know the one, the color that calls your name. That thing you swore you wouldn't buy again this month. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Throw pillows. Somehow they always find their way into your cart like sneaky little budget bandits dressed in cozy fabric. But let's shift focus to something most shoppers overlook entirely, the price tag itself. That little white square? It's not just showing you a number, it's speaking in code. And if you know how to read it, you've unlocked another level of the Marshall's matrix. Ever see a tag that says designer? Bingo. That's the good stuff. Real labels. Genuine brands. The kind that usually comes with a higher price tag elsewhere. And they vanish fast. When you spot that word, understand this. That item likely won't be there tomorrow. Maybe not even an hour from now. Now flip that same tag over, and you might find something else. Irregular. And this is where things get interesting. Most people see that word and put the item down without a second thought. But here's the truth. Irregular doesn't always mean defective. It just means different. Sometimes it's a crooked tag, a misplaced stitch, a pocket sewn slightly off-center. Cosmetic flaws. Nothing more. I once grabbed a pair of Levi's marked Irregular. Turned them inside out. Checked every seam like a forensic scientist. The only issue? One cuff was just slightly curved. For $12 off? That cuff could do cartwheels. I'd still wear them. So here's the golden rule. Don't fear the word irregular. Inspect the item yourself. If the flaw doesn't affect how it fits or functions, you just scored big. Marshalls legally has to tell you if an item isn't factory perfect. But perfection doesn't pay your bills, value does. Now, timing. Most people think the key to snagging the best deals is to show up early, right when the store opens. But guess what? That's a myth, straight from the mouths of Marshall's employees. The best items, they're not even on the floor yet. They're still being unboxed, still sitting in the back room, maybe even on the delivery truck. The real magic window? 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's when fresh inventory finally makes it to the shelves. And don't waste your Monday. Mondays at Marshall's are a hot mess. Staff are recovering from the weekend crowd and chaos. Inventory is still being sorted. It's not pretty. Want to strike gold? Shop on Wednesdays, Thursdays, or Fridays. Midweek means fewer crowds, newly stocked racks, and better odds at catching that untouched, just-arrived piece before anyone else gets their hands on it. And here's a little-known secret that Marshalls will never admit in their ads. Not all locations are created equal. You're not imagining things if one store feels like a designer haven and another feels like a clearance afterthought. Stores in wealthier zip codes are given better inventory. Period. Why? Because buying patterns and return data tell Marshalls what sells best in each area. High-income neighborhoods get more premium brands, better shoes, handbags worth showing off, and styles that actually match the season. So if you're serious about scoring the best deals, be willing to drive. That extra 10 or 15 minutes to a more upscale neighborhood can completely change what's on the racks. What might be junk in your local store could be gold just a few miles away. Same price, but better stuff? That's not a dream. That's a Marshall's hack. Shopping at the right location is like upgrading your entire retail experience without spending a single extra dollar. And the smartest shoppers? They treat Marshalls like a treasure map. And you better believe the X is marked in neighborhoods with manicured lawns, fresh pavement, and BMWs in every driveway. That's where the real gold lives. Designer racks that haven't been picked clean, shelves full of brand names, styles that actually feel current. Sure, the stores might be a little busier, maybe a little louder, but the reward? A haul that looks like you went to a luxury mall without the luxury price tag. Now, speaking of value, what happens when you find something you love, but it's damaged? A wobbly chair leg, a shirt with a tiny snag, a picture frame missing a corner. Most people just sigh and walk away. Big mistake. Let me tell you a trick Marshall's employees don't shout about, but absolutely can do. If the item doesn't say "as is" on the tag, you have a window of opportunity. Bring it up to the register or ask to speak to a manager. And then say these magic words. Is there anything you can do on this? Simple, polite, powerful. I once snagged a wooden shelving unit with a small crack for 30% off, just by asking. No drama, no debate. The associate looked it over, typed a few things into the register, and boom, discount applied. Now it doesn't work every time. Some associates might say no, but many will say yes, especially if you're kind, respectful, and not demanding. Remember, they deal with impatient customers all day. A polite request stands out, and often it pays off. Let's switch lanes, because if you are wondering what you should absolutely be buying at Marshall's, listen closely. This is where the value explodes. Shoes. Marshall's doesn't just compete in this department, they dominate. While TJ Maxx might win when it comes to handbags, Marshall's is a hidden paradise for footwear. Women's boots, men's sneakers, kids' name brands, real deals, real discounts, and surprisingly on trend. On a recent trip, I spotted Steve Madden, Adidas, Vince Camuto, all lined up and waiting. These are the exact styles still selling at full price in department stores. And if you're someone who thinks discount shoe aisles are just mismatched clearance leftovers, think again. The key is showing up midweek, when new inventory lands and sizes haven't been picked over by seasoned bargain hunters. And if you're sitting there thinking, wait, what's Vince Camuto? Congrats. You just saved yourself $85. But trust me, someone in your life cares deeply about that label. Now, let's talk about another gold mine that most shoppers overlook, the beauty aisle. Yes, Marshall's sells makeup and skin care, and yes, they're real brands. We're talking MAC, NARS, Clinique, even Sephora exclusives. The kind of products you usually see behind glass counters, now tucked between candles and hairbrushes, just waiting to be discovered. But here's your warning label. Check the expiration dates. Just because it's on sale doesn't mean it's still good. Some of those face creams have been around longer than your dog. This matters, especially with skin care. Always look for the tiny jar icon on the packaging. It'll say something like 6M, 12M, or 24M. That tells you how long the product is safe to use after it's opened. Some items might already be pushing the limit before you even buy them. And trust me, no one wants to slather expired serum under their eyes. So yes, Marshall's can be a beauty jackpot. But only if you shop smart. Inspect what you buy, know the signs, and never assume something is a deal just because it has a red sticker. Let's get one thing straight. Just because it's in the beauty aisle at Marshall's doesn't mean it's expired junk. On my last 3 trips, I checked every skincare and makeup product I came across. Not one expired. Not one. And that's huge. It means Marshall's might finally be getting serious about shelf monitoring. But don't get too comfortable. You still need to check. Because no one wants a deal on moisturizer if it comes with a free case of middle school-style acne. Here's how to stay ahead of the mess. Look for that tiny open jar icon on the label. You know the one. It has a number like 6M, 12M, or 24M. That's how many months the product stays good after opening. But also keep an eye out for hard expiration dates stamped on the package. Some products sneak past the shelf checks, and it's your job to catch them before they catch your skin. Now, let's nerd out, because if you've ever stared at a Marshall's price tag and thought, why are there so many numbers on this thing? Congrats, you're not alone. But what you probably didn't realize is that those numbers aren't random. In fact, they're part of a secret pricing language, and if you learn to read it, you'll outshop 99% of people in the store. Start with the 4-digit number at the top left corner of the tag. That's just the product category code. It's more useful for employees, so don't stress too much over that. Next up, the SKU number. Again, Not super exciting unless you're doing inventory. But then comes the real gold, the tiny number that looks suspiciously like a price, but isn't. Let's say it says 01999. That's not a sticker misprint. That's the original manufacturer's retail price, also known as MSRP, meaning that hoodie you're holding was originally $19.99 before Marshalls ever touched it. So don't let the compare at price fool you. That hidden number, that's the truth. Right next to that, you'll see a small number in a box, often a week or month code for when the item arrived in store. If that number is high, that product has been sitting for a while, which means it's on the brink of a markdown. So here's your decision point. Love the item, and it's been on the floor for weeks. Maybe wait it out and catch it when it hits clearance. But also, timing is a gamble. Wait too long and it could vanish before you ever get your hands on it again. All right, if you've made it this far, it's time for the next level stuff. Because you're not just a casual shopper anymore. No, you're becoming the kind of Marshalls customer the company secretly dreads, the one who can decode every tag, dodge every trap, and walk out the door with only the best finds at the lowest prices. Let's start with the biggest time-saving hack of all. Just ask. Sounds simple, right? But 99% of people don't do it. Here's what most shoppers don't realize. Marshalls employees are allowed to tell you what's new. So next time you walk in, skip the slow rack browsing and just say, "Hey, what's new today? Did you put out anything fresh this morning?" 9 times out of 10, they'll point you straight to the new arrivals. While everyone else is elbow deep in yesterday's leftovers, you're pulling first picks off today's shipment. Fresh inventory, untouched, full-size runs, the good stuff. And if you really want to unlock Marshalls like a VIP, you've got to do what most people don't. Build relationships. Not with the brand, with the people. The manager, the cashier, the stockroom guy. Be friendly, be kind. Learn their names if you can. Because the people who work there, they know things. They know when markdowns go live, when yellow tags hit the floor, and which brands are about to make a comeback before the rest of us even see it. One viewer told us they always get tipped off when their favorite candle brand gets restocked, because they made friends with the manager, always smiled, never caused drama, and even once brought in. Sometimes a cup of coffee goes a long way. Think it's overkill to bring one for the team? Maybe. But trust me, it works. That's not just being nice. That's retail diplomacy. And it can turn your casual shopping trip into a strategic advantage. Here's another tip most shoppers miss. Fashion codes printed on the tags. If you see the word contemp, that's Marshalls' shorthand for contemporary. Translation? Trendier, younger, more fashion-forward. This is Marshalls quietly telling you, hey, this is what's in right now. So if you're overwhelmed by racks of outdated or random styles and don't feel like playing dress-up roulette, just look for that one word. It'll save you time, stress, and help you find clothes that don't scream 2007 throwback.